Bisu's just going to use the Arbiters to try to fend that off with a smaller troop count, use that tech advantage. Iris putting up a lot of defense here. Should have a science vessel in not too long. Let's see if he decides to make any move for them. But this is the thing is even if Iris doesn't go for an attack here, Bisu, he doesn't really need to. He's economically ahead, and it looks like he's going to be able to continue with that economic harassment. It looks like that dropship moving up that left-hand lane. Comstatting, just kind of check that back edge. There's only a single cannon there and 2 Dragoons, so these tanks should be able to get some probe kills before getting taken out. Also checking that near expansion. And it looks like they're going to drop narrow, actually, and using a little bit of dropship micro. I'm going to have to pull out, though, because, ooh, almost getting that dropship. A lot of Dragoons and Zealots waiting there. I think if he had actually taken the other approach, he would have had more success. He probably would have lost both siege tanks, but he would have been able to maybe get a couple probe kills in there. Now getting that science vessel out, which will really neutralize. Ooh, more. Oh, Bisu can't afford that, which will really, open up. It looks like Bisu's kind of trying to check out that 9 o'clock expansion, see what's going on. Bisu is economically ahead right this second. He's finally. Well, no, never mind. He is not mining at the 1 o'clock yet. So he's actually economically behind. The Vulture's able to sneak in. There are some cloaked Zealots underneath, but still the Vulture's going to be able to get a couple more probe kills and harass Bisu's economy a little bit more. So I take it back. Iris is actually economically ahead as of right this second, and he's going to have a window of opportunity where his production's actually higher. Bisu trying to maintain the upgrades. Looks like he has level 1 weapons. And with that science vessel out, it's going to be very difficult for Bisu to, first of all, stop Iris from taking in any expansions, and additionally put on a push of his own. With the level 2 weapons shortly coming along the way, it looks like level 1 armor also spinning up. So he's going to be running into a larger, more upgraded army in not too long. Iris, though, he's just now getting those additional factories, and he's very light on the machine shops. He's been mostly pumping Vultures. I think he could afford to have a couple more machine shops, a couple more tanks filing out. And just as I see that, say that there's more tanks moving out. He's just happy to play the contain game. He really doesn't need to run into Bisu with this economic edge, and he's still in a good position to take another base. And it looks like he's already got some anti-arbiter action right there. You can still just unsiege those tanks, run right up there. Let's see where Bisu decides to dedicate with this attack. It's really going to be critical. Iris moving up barely. It looks like he's going to have to cancel that 9 o'clock. The Arbiter actually checking out that 3 o'clock. Bisu is starting to take a little bit of an edge here, but I still feel like he's going to be behind on upgrades. With that science vessel out in the air, he's not going to have a lot of opportunity. He's going to need a really good recall. 2 science vessels out in the field. He's going to need a really good recall, or he's going to have to catch Iris out of position while he's moving forward. And here comes the recall now, back towards the main, and doing some nice maneuver. And it looks like he's going to try to do recall right over the factory line, try to take out some of these factories. And a pretty sizable force dropping in here, but Mines managed to hit a lot of the Dragoons. But Iris's reinforcements not too far away. He's got a lot of the science vessels right there. And I think this is right as level 2 weapons is coming on. So he's going to get a couple supply depots, but he's not going to be able to get a lot more accomplished here. So it looks like Iris is going to easily be able to clean this up, and Bisu not accomplishing as much as he wanted to. Not even taking a factory down, only getting, it looks like, 2 supply depots, which really, this is kind of a waste of a recall, which is really going to set Bisu behind. Really going to set Bisu behind. So, yeah, and it looks like he's going to lose all of that attack force and an Arbiter, and he's going to go for a counterattack, but it looks like Iris has already got reinforcements established at that position, so he's kind of running headlong into an army. I think this is a desperation maneuver from Bisu. You can just kind of see the frustration. I think he was maybe hoping to catch something out of position instead of looking for it. Okay, he did see the mine, so maybe he'll back off, but I'm not sure if he knows about the tanks to the south. Now running, never mind, he does not see it, and Dragoons running headlong into tanks on this front door. 2 factories in the line. Zealots aren't even screening here, and detections there, a big wall of tanks there. They're all spread out, and this is just devastating. So Bisu he's getting farther than I thought he would with this attack. So the Zealots now coming in, but he's still expending a lot of units. Iris's reinforcements should be able to come out in not too long to clean up the rest of this attack force, and this is another big attack force that's getting completely wiped, which is going to prevent Bisu from really, at least it should prevent him from being aggressive at this stage, taking any expansions. He's just going to have to rebuild this army before he can accomplish anything. At the very least, he's not going to be able to stop Iris from taking additional expansions, and once again taking the economic lead. And Iris's army is just brutal. First of all, large, well upgraded. Doesn't look like he's getting any SCV kills with this. He's able to take out a couple turrets, but the Vulture's able to wander in. Okay, it looks like they are going to be able to get some SCV kills, but I still don't feel like it's going to slow down Iris's economy enough. particularly when you think about it. Okay, so that was an entire 2 armies for maybe 4 SCVs and 3 supply depots. Not a very good trade. Let's see if Iris immediately swings around, goes in for a counterattack, tries to attack that 10 o'clock position. Good timing for it. He knows Bisu's army is non-existent. He knows he can be on the aggression. He knows he can take expansions and put on pressure simultaneously. Bisu's main looking somewhat thin here. He does have the 2 Stargates out to pump Arbiters. Really the thing that's going to save Bisu at this stage. Oh, the tanks coming in, still in that dropship. Switching back and just waiting there for that patient moment. Looks like they got several probe kills. And they're starting to damage that Nexus. So, from a distance, from the grave, and Bisu running up a little too quickly. Okay, it looks like, oh, that was a really risky opportunity with those drones with those probes piled up there. That could have been a devastating 2 hits, completely wiped out everything there. Vulture's now running up to kind of clean up the cannons that are trying to be replaced, planting some mines, going to be able to take out the Dragoons and get some more economic damage inflicted on Bisu. Bisu trying to run down the middle here to go in for a counterattack. Maybe he's enough stasis stored up to really make this worthwhile, but he's got a pretty sizable army pursuing, but Iris actually should have a pretty sizable army as well. Iris just planning that expansion. He's probably going to have to back it off. He's going to siege up. Nice stasis, getting the 3 science vessels. So there's still a turret down beneath and a lot of stuff in the way. It looks like he managed to not drop anything because the shuttle just ran up and died, but the Zealots getting in proximity. The rest of Dragoons, Zealots running in. This is going to be a huge attack. Unfortunately, Bisu going down into the cliffside, and I feel like he's going to expend more units, but another nice stasis. He needed that a lot earlier, though. I assume he just didn't have the energy, and now there's enough siege tanks to take care of the residual Dragoons. If that had come earlier, that would have been the difference in that fight. Unfortunately, the Arbiter's coming out too late, and the Vulture's still hammering away at that expansion. Iris is going to, with just the bases he has, going to retake the economic lead, and he's trying to go up another base. And the upgrades are really spelling the difference here, I think. These Vultures, these just powerful units on the ground for Iris, and he's got more factories out. Looks like he does have 3 machine shops down. I don't think I saw 4. And again, I still feel like he could go with more machine shops and pour out more tanks. Very concerned fan here. The nice little shot. A couple Zealots kind of hidden in beneath. Looks like he was able to take out another supply depot. So Bisu doing the Army for Supply Depot exchange program here, which did not work for any country that I know of, and it's definitely not going to work for Bisu. So Bisu, actually I take it back. He's at 5 bases, so he's not as bad off as I thought he was. Iris just taking his 4th, but his main extremely thin. So effectively he's at 3, and I think Iris is effectively at 2, but Iris is now going to take 3. So he's actually not as bad off as I thought he was, but he still doesn't have much of an army, and Iris still has a very strong army. And I think supply-wise, Iris is just way ahead at the moment. Arbiter going to come in. Let's see if he's going to be able to get another recall, but not a lot of Dragoons. There's still a lot of mines in the way, and I don't know that Observer's long for life. The Observer gets taken out, which is really going to stifle that Dragoon attack. Let's see if Iris decides to attack. No, okay, he has some Dragoons thinking he's going to pull the linebackers off the line. But Bisu needs to stop one of these expansions, and quickly, before Iris can retake